Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to join us on what was a nice, bright, sunny afternoon after all this rain. My name is Paul Lantane. I'm the current sheriff of Virginia Beach, hopefully being the retired sheriff in a few months. Looking forward to that. I want to share with you just for a couple of minutes some guiding principles that we have in the sheriff's office that we've recognized over the years as our ability to be successful. We recognize that it's our place to complement our public safety counterparts, not to compete with them. We want to avoid the duplication of effort. We want to provide for the most cost-efficient and effective services possible. Our primary function is to comply with court orders, particularly those regarding sentencing. I do not believe it's the sheriff's responsibility to supersede the jury or the judge in sentencing individuals to jail or letting them out. I'm extremely proud of the diversity that our organization has met. Unlike some of our other public safety counterparts, our diversity exceeds our demographics. And finally, because of our outstanding employees, we've been named one of the top 25 places to work for the last 3 years in a row in Hampton Roads. And again, that's because of our outstanding employees. The Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office motto is committed to our community. 4 simple words with great meaning. 4 simple words that Ken Stolle exemplifies. Ken Stolle has demonstrated those 4 simple words throughout his adult life. Ken Stolle was committed to his community when he joined the Virginia Beach Police Department several years ago with me, and he's rose through the ranks as a supervisor. Ken Stolle was committed to our community when he's elected to the Virginia Senate, where he has served for the last 18 years. Ken Stolle was committed to our community when he chaired the State Crime Commission. Ken Stolle was committed to our community when he chaired the Senate Courts of Justice Committee. Ken Stolle was committed to our community while serving as chairman of the Public Safety Subcommittee on Senate Finance. Unlike others seeking this office, Ken Stolle has never applied for an outside job outside the city of Virginia Beach. Ken Stolle wants to remain committed to our community by coming back to his roots in law enforcement. And that's why Ken Stolle has received the recognition and the endorsements of those people that know most. The Virginia Beach professional firefighters, and Kenny Pravitz is here today on this side, and the Fraternal Order of Police with Doug Zebley as our president. These are people that know our community. These are people that understand Ken Stolle and are proud that he's going to take our sheriff's office forward and not backwards. At this time, for some comments, I'd ask for our Commonwealth Attorney, Harvey Bryant, to come forward.
Thank you, Sheriff Lantane, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harvey Bryant. I am the Commonwealth Attorney for the City of Virginia Beach, and from my position in law enforcement, it's very reassuring, as I know that it is for the citizens of Virginia Beach, to know that our Sheriff's Department can continue under the competent and professional leadership that's been given it by Paul Lantane when Ken Stolle is elected and takes that position. So all of us can feel very confident that we're going to have a continuation of the excellent services and the excellent effort on behalf of public safety in the city of Virginia Beach with Ken Stolle as our sheriff. I am but one of many officials who are here today and who are supporting Ken. In addition to myself, the president of the Virginia Sheriff's Association, Steve Draper, has endorsed Ken's election to sheriff. Dana Schrade, the executive director of the Virginia Association of Chiefs of Police, Beth Simons, who is the president of the Virginia Campus Law Enforcement Association, the president of the Virginia State Police Association, Ken Bumgardner, and Wayne Hudgens, who's the former superintendent of the state police, have all endorsed Ken's election to this position. Today we're also honored to have members of the House of Delegates who are supporting Ken's election. Just some of those who are present today, there are others of course, but present we're honored to have with us Delegate Sal Quinto and Delegate Barry Knight. So we appreciate them being here. And we also have our Treasurer John Atkinson, constitutional officers also present as Tina Sennon, our Circuit Court Clerk of Court is out there somewhere. Where are you, Tina? Thank you. And in addition, we have Councilman Ron Villanueva is present, and also Rosemary Wilson has just walked up. So if I missed anybody, please raise your hand, let me know. Hope I caught them all. Equally important, and I'm delighted at this time to be able to introduce the mayor of the city of Virginia Beach, the Honorable Will Sessoms.
Well, it's kind of an awkward time for us. We're in session right now, and Rosemary snuck down and so is Ron, but I can represent the entire council in our support for Ken. And that's highly unusual to have all 11 votes go in one direction, so that's quite an accomplishment. But I remember when Ken ran for the Senate years ago, I had a lot of hair. We all looked a heck of a lot younger. And to make a long story short, I remember what his passion was before he did it, and that was law enforcement. And he had just left law enforcement, and now he's really coming back to what he loves. But when he also was elected to the Senate, in my mind, we haven't had a representative, and we got great representatives, and Sal's one of them. But let me say to you, Ken Stolle carried the water for us, and I think it should be recognized. Ken Stolle was a tremendous senator for the city of Virginia Beach and the Commonwealth of Virginia. Knowing what a wonderful job he did serving in the Senate, knowing that he's coming back to his passion, his love, law enforcement, I can assure you he's going to be the best sheriff that Virginia Beach can have. It's hard to top Paul Lantane, now let me say that to you. But there's nothing wrong with a little competition, you know, we're trying to be better. But there's no question in my mind we're going to have a superb sheriff taking the place of Paul, and I certainly am proud to be able to offer my support along with my colleagues on City Council. And Ken, I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Will.
My pleasure.
I mentioned how proud I was of the Sheriff's Office and all our accomplishments, but I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that the Mayor and the City Council have always been supportive of us, giving us the financial backing necessary to provide such a safe community, and so we thank them tremendously. At this time, I'd ask our Chief Deputy, Dennis Free, to come forward for some comments.
This could always be a little bit dangerous because two former SWAT team guys are together. And every time I get together with ex-SWAT team members, the stories get grander, the proof more dubious, and the accomplishments more unbelievable. But in this case, I'm proud to be here. Senator Ken Stolle has been representing the 8th Senatorial District of Virginia Beach for over 18 years. He's an avid supporter and advocate of issues concerning public safety. Senator Stolle is the only member of the Senate who was a police officer. He served with the Virginia Beach Police Department from 1976 until 1987. Ken was a narcotics detective, a SWAT team leader, and a tactical team sergeant. He received 2 Medals of Valor for his service while working with the city. He was also an officer in the Naval Reserve, and as an officer in the Naval Reserve, Ken worked with President Reagan's task force designed to interdict the maritime drug flow that was poisoning our children. And this was one of the highly successful programs along the East Coast and up and down the Florida coast. As a legislator, he is universally recognized as one who can work across the aisles with both sides for the benefit of the citizens of Virginia Beach and the Commonwealth. As a law enforcement expert, Ken knows that the primary role of government, or one of the primary roles of government, is to protect the innocent. He has provided law enforcement with the resources to protect you even during these tough economic times. This year, for example, Ken fully restored the state's share of funding to sheriffs and local police departments in all our cities and counties. Without Ken's help, the Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office would have lost 25 to 34 deputies, less people to protect you. The Commonwealth estimated they would have lost 900 law enforcement officials, except for Ken, when he stepped in and restored that funding. Following years of faithful service, Ken recognized that the law enforcement community needed some help as we got older, and he provided the bill that gave us our enhanced retirement system for everyone in public safety. To protect those who protect you, Ken sponsored legislation to increase the scope of the death penalty for people who murdered our law enforcement officers. He also proposed and enacted legislation to protect our children, this year alone providing $2 million to Virginia's 2 Internet Crimes Against Children task forces.